Okay.
Good to see you. Yes, good to see you. How is everything? No bad. Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good to have you. Let's have some words with you. The president embarked on some reforms at the initial stage of his administration, and now he's told Nigerians that the economy is turning the corner. What's the WTO's perception of Nigeria's economy?
So we think that the president and his team, and we just exchanged with him, have worked hard to stabilize the economy. And you cannot really improve an economy unless it's stable. So he has to be given the credit for the stability of the economy. So the reforms have been in the right direction. What is needed next is growth. We now need to grow the economy, and we need to put in social safety nets so that people who are feeling the pinch of the reforms can also have some support to be able to weather the hardship. So that's the next step. How do we build social safety net to help Nigerians cushion the hardship they are feeling? And then how do we grow the economy so we can create more jobs and put more money in people's pockets? These are issues that we discussed with Mr. President.
Thank you so much.
This is just about the best time for you now to share your thoughts without limitations, without reservations as to what you think or make of the nation's economy. Are we indeed making progress? Now, there are economic indicators to look at for, gross revenues increasing to 37.4% of government revenues in the first half of this year compared to last year. The debt to GDP ratio actually decreased to 38.8% from 52.1%. The trade surplus, we're seeing over $4 billion in the first quarter of this year, with exports increasing by 9.8%. Some of the initiatives that have been introduced by this administration, you look at the Renewed Hope agenda, where this administration has been focusing on diversifying the economy and empowering women-led, enterprises, revenue optimization by way of implementing, revenue optimization and insurance platform to enhance government revenue collection. You also talk about the upcoming initiative to support youth development. But in the face of all of these, the average Nigerian on the street actually thinks that we are making little or no progress as far as the nation's economy is concerned. Probably because of the hardship that we're faced with at this point in time, probably because of the level of hunger, the poverty that Nigerians are faced with at this point in time. But for the DG of the World Trade Organization to come out to say that the president he has actually introduced very bold reforms to stabilize the economy, and what is actually needed next is growth. Don't you think we should perhaps give the president a pat on the back and just keep our fingers crossed, stay optimistic and wait to see the growth that would actually bring about the desired change that Nigerians are clamoring for? The big question really that we are asking on the show this morning, to make it very, very precise, would be how justified are the economic reforms of President Bola Tinubu's administration? We have Adefolarin Olamilekon on the line already. Morning, Mr. Adefolarin. Good to finally link up with you. Mr. Adefolarin, and the statement or comments made by the World Trade Organization Director-General, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, seems to be on the front burner, whether you like it or not.
Quite interesting that the Nigerian economy is on a stable rise. And in that stable rise that he's trying to portray that the economy is actually growing, but there is a conflict between economic growth and economic development. So what we are experiencing is growth. And when we talk about economic growth, we are talking about numeric, statistical number of what is really happening, and based on what's supposed to be the reality of what is happening as a number. The political economy, we want to talk about economic growth and economic development. When we talk about economic growth, we are talking about the numbers of indicators of what is really happening. For instance, the economic growth in the first quarter was about 2.6. The second quarter was also economic growth of about 2.7. And it's also been projected that the economy will grow by the end of 2025 to about 3.7 or between 3.7. I mean, when the federal government on the zone has projected that the 4.1 to 4.3 economic growth for itself. So what we are seeing is the number of economic growth that are actually happening in the various sectors of the economy. the major sector, the sub-sector, and the cost. But the reality is that even though they are growing in number, the number does not reflect the development in on 8 years. When we talk about human development index, ADI, human development index, and that human development index is what is missing and what is lacking. But the core message is that actually the economy is growing, there is stability, but that stability has not transmitted into HDI, that human development, to take care of aspects of poverty, to take care of aspects of employment, to take care of aspects of welfare, hospitality, education for the people. So that's what is missing. Although we all acknowledge that the economy is stable, but there is a missing link between a stable economy and unstable, undeveloped economy.
Okay, so if you say that what we are seeing or experiencing at this point in time is economic growth and not development, I'd like to ask you, a very, very pertinent questions. Mr. Defolarin, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
All right, so what exactly are some of the indicators that you can attribute to this economic growth as opposed to the economic development you're talking about? In terms of FX or Forex, the troubles associated, the challenges associated with the FX, are they over? Remember that the big question we're asking on the show this morning would be, how justified are the economic reforms of President Bola Tinubu's administration, looking at the submissions made by the Director-General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Are your thoughts any different? Adefolarin is back with us. Hello. Thank you so much for staying with us. What are the indicators that actually, speak to the economic growth you're talking about, Mr. Defolarin?
Now, talking about economic development, there are indicators. First and foremost, the critical question you ask about any economy is, what is happening to poverty? What is happening to unemployment? What is happening to health facilities? What is happening to education? And what is happening to this that create opportunity for recreation? And what is happening to food security? In the case of Nigeria, in the case of economic growth of Nigeria, we have not had any indicators that show that, one, there is growth, or there is indicator that shows that employment is growing. There is no indicator to show that the poverty is reducing, and there is no indicator as much as we can confirm that shows that there are enough infrastructure to take care of our educational activities in Nigeria. And not to talk about food production, even though we are beginning to witness a crash in price of food, but not to the variable minimum, or whereby the average Nigerian purchasing power can really get those food and buy them. So those are the issues when we talk about development, and those are the things that are missing in the area of economic growth, that are merely statistical mathematics that show the numbers. Now let's demystify the issue around economic growth. Now, numbers of how an economy is really doing, and they look at certain factors, certain productive factors in the economy to really show. One of them is what you have just mentioned, the forex. Now, there's been a bit of stability in the area of devaluation of the naira. It is now between 1,535 and 1,538. So the government, the international observer like IMF, World Bank, WTO, that is okay on their part. And why is it okay? Because the government have been able to reduce the level, the difference between official and black market. Because as we speak right now, the official exchange rate between naira and dollar or the black market and the official market is less than 150, between 120 and 80 naira. That has been so today. That is very good when it comes to economic growth. Then talking about Nigerian export receipts, we have been export and import receipts. They are both positive sides. We're exporting and importing, and the growth has shown that really there is great business on the aspect of import and export. Then talking about capital importation. Capital importation talk about all the money foreign investors, FPI that are coming to Nigeria. Could you believe that in the first quarter and second quarter, over $50 billion as FPI and FDI are coming to Nigeria? Just take Nigerian stock market for instance. You see a lot of positive earning coming out from that. So look at the indicators that they check out to be economic good. But when those things doesn't link to tackle poverty, tackle unemployment, tackle food scarcity, tackle infrastructural deficit, it doesn't resonate with economic development. So there is the dichotomy between economic growth and economic development. So we need to understand where all this terminology, particularly economic growth and economic development,